let our financial institutions become kind of on a size basis a bigger risk to our economy than anywhere else. Yeah, like they made a mess in the US, they made a mess in the UK, but they're not going to bring down the country, or at least they're able to solve the problems. I would have a pretty pessimistic view of things. I think we are potentially on a path to not a particularly good outcome. I think the regulatory thing was very poor there.
Hedge fund with the government kind of thing.
To be honest, I wouldn't agree with that.
I wouldn't agree with
I don't
that.
think regulators here did necessarily. They didn't do a great job. There's obviously things that have gone badly wrong, but I don't think they did necessarily a worse job than anybody else. I mean, we might arguably let AIB or Bank of Ireland go too far.
I actually think that's a pretty bad disability criteria. We're not as bad as you know.
But they're more affect the whole economy.
Yeah, Anglo only blow up the
Yes.
country. AIB and Bank of Ireland are probably actually on the scale of things. Anglo was it was a pretty obvious scenario to a lot of kind of observers, commentators, where it was going, the direction would end up in.
Well, sure, but you know, I tried to persuade my father not to put cash into Anglo on many occasions, and he kept saying, well, you know, they're paying more interest than anybody else, I can't afford not to.
At a retail level, that's a fair kind of analysis, but for the regulator who's supposed to be kind of taking a holistic view of the financial kind of environment that we live in.
When we go back to, I wouldn't take as pessimistic a point of view as you. I don't think we're going to end up in an Icelandic situation.
Not quite that far.
We could be worse. Of course,
we are worse. Look at the rate of unemployment.
Well, we're worse. I mean, when we're talking about.
So macroeconomic indicators.
Well, I don't know. If you look at certain macroeconomic indicators, of course, you could say the percentage of the population we're doing worse. But look at the types of people in Iceland that are unemployed. And look at the types of people who are unemployed here. You see a different thing. You see in Iceland, everyone across the spectrum of the income distribution is experiencing unemployment. In Ireland, it's the lower end of the income distribution, the lower middle class. Wait, hang on. And every one of you is going to go, I know Bob. Bob was at my table. I told you the story at the start of the thing. I met 3 people, you know, all lecturers, whatever. Yes, you can't. I'm talking now in gross, generalized aggregate terms. I know you all know people who are employed, so. But I don't think we're as bad yet. Overall, you can certainly pick areas in which we are laggard, and areas in which we're better. I certainly feel like, I mean, it's going to be.
Of course, but if you take a big picture, items like GDP shrinkage, like unemployment.
Oh yeah. You're going to see a lot of that.
I mean, Iceland is so small with it's over 300,000 people, and can make any argument you want out of it, but there's not the sense of a clear national emergency amongst the general population in this country. In a room like this, with how many people, less than 30, there's absolutely no consensus.
No, I think there
You
should
come
be a
up with
consensus.
any set of rules you like, but there's always going to be people who will find a way around that set of rules.
Yes.
Because this will actually first look like, unrelated to your talk.
Doesn't really happen.
Yes. But actually, the Institute is a good example where a number of years ago, the set of ethics was very New York lawyer style. Rule A, B, C, D. And now it's moved more toward a holistic view. Do I care if the regulator obeys rule X, Y, Z? I don't. If I read an audited report of a company, am I going to double check the auditor? No, I expect the auditor to have done a decent job. I don't care if they fulfill the letter of the law. That's irrelevant to me. You gave the example of the...
You don't care that the auditor fulfills...
I expect, that's a given.
You take it as given?
Yes.
Okay.
You gave the example of the road near your village at 80 kilometers an hour, and no cop would pull you over. But actually there are rules that could pull you over. Dangerous driving. That says nothing about going over the speed limit. Well, any average cop can come up with any rule they like to pull you over.
Sure.
If they're driving up.
Okay, no, I take your point. That's fair.
So in terms of the way that bankers are paid, do you think that if you had a system where it's a, say, a 5-year backward-looking measure where you make a loan today and instead of at the end of the year Bank of Ireland or AIB or somebody's grown their loan by 20% and it's done well through the boom, but if it's backward measure over time that they get penalised for poor performance of those historically that
Yeah, there is some scope to do something like that, but I think that would be the start of it, actually. I think these these very quickly these measures have to be implemented at an economy wide basis, because if you make the next chairman of Anglo do that, you know, if you cap their salary, if you cap this, cap that, cap the other, all you're going to do is force people into other labour market choices. You have to do it at a blanket level, otherwise you're not going to change it.
Maybe one private jet per family.
Well, if I gave my mother-in-law free flights, man, I'd be happy.
We'll wind it up there. Very lively Q&A session
Yeah.
anyway. Pretty good indicator of the quality of the talk.
Thank you very much for this.
You were able to take the reins in the morning of the system. Given what you spoke about in your talk about regulation, what would you do?
I would nationalise all of the banks on a temporary basis. I would improve job creation programs, especially in less developed regions, and I would make sure that George Lee wasn't the Minister for Finance.
Okay, great. Thank you.